Newsflash is brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fee.
You're still watching Prime Morning, and it's time for us to delve into what the newspapers have for us. Now, this morning, we are definitely delving into two main topics. It's all about WAEC and NIB reports. Now, when I talk about WAEC, I'm talking about government owing WAEC and government claiming to have paid WAEC 80 million Ghana cedis out of the 90, let me get the right figure, it's actually 90-something, million that they owe them. However, WAEC has come out to debunk that they haven't received that 80 million, but rather they've received 47 million Ghana cedis out of the amount of money that government is owing them. They are saying that if government is not able to provide them some amount of money, they might have to postpone the BECE examination. That's not good to hear, is it? Well, we'll talk about that. We'll definitely delve very, very deep into that. And today, we have guests that are very, very abreast with the topic. We actually have John Kapi, who is the head of public affairs at WAEC, who will be joining us via Zoom for us to delve into that topic. And then I have my guests who are seated right here with me, who also delve into that topic. Currently, I have two guests seated. I have Professor Khalid, who is representing the NDC this morning. Good morning, Prof. How are you? It's good to see you.
Good to always see you on a Monday morning.
Right. And I have Bernard Mona, future president of Ghana from PNC. Good morning, Bernard.
Morning, Rose.
How are you?
I could have been better.
Really?
For the taunting that Sheriff subjected me to this morning.
Hey.
Oh, what did I subject my elder brother to?
Sheriff suggests that you cannot see him. You were looking out for me.
But that was a plus.
Okay, so we'll also talk about the NIB report, the security implications to that as well. And we'll have Adib Sani, who is a security analyst, join us on Zoom as well later. And then I guess we'll also delve into that particular topic. But before then, let me quickly read what the newspapers have for us. But don't forget that this segment is proudly brought to you by Franco. Franco Trading Enterprise has got all the gadgets that you need. Is it mobile phones you want? Is it a television set? Is it CCTV cameras, refrigerators? So many gadgets. We have all of them for you. Just make sure that you pass by any of our shops, or you can actually download the app on your phone. You just go to Google Play Store, download the app, Franco Trading app, or visit our website for more information, www.francotradingenterprise.com. Franco Trading Enterprise, still phone papa perfect. So I'll start with the Custodian newspaper. The Custodian newspaper. Ghana starts homework clean up campaign. No energy crisis in Ghana. This is coming from Napo, who is the energy minister. And currently he's been tipped to become the running mate for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Tipped. I'm not saying he's actually the one. Make me president. I have best record as Veep, Bawumia urges Ghanaians. The Ghanaian Publisher newspaper is the next newspaper, the Ghanaian Publisher. Don't be intimidated by anyone, Afari tells Bawumia. Gamanche homework clean up begins July. Ochehene calls for better pay for teachers, which we all agree to that. YEA launches BEAP model, and that will be all for the Guardian Publisher newspaper. The next newspaper is the Daily Searchlight newspaper. The Daily Searchlight. Planting for food and jobs fails as Akufo-Addo targets Ukraine grain imports. Dr. Efri Yakoto, the former Agric Minister, failed to deliver results on the Planting for Food and Jobs program. And that's what the newspaper is saying. I'm doing the Daily Searchlight newspaper. Trouble brews at controllers over unpaid allowances, but management pledges to pay arrears shortly. Gamancha leads charge towards a cleaner Accra. Government releases 20 million Ghana cedis for the payment of loans to students. And coming soon, a major financial scandal involving customs, GRA, tax waivers, and a Chinese company. It says, stay tuned. That's the Daily Searchlight newspaper. The next newspaper is the Finder newspaper. The Finder. Initial 1,452 micro businesses receiving YEA assistance. Prestige commercial space draws top brands. Timetable for unplanned outages are not feasible. This coming from the Energy Minister. Access Bank Ghana celebrate remarkable growth at 16th AGM. And revival of agric underway as large-scale farming under EEP makes good progress. That's the Finder newspaper, the new Finder. I'll do the Republic Press next. Republic Press. It won't be under Akufo-Addo Bawumia government that students won't write BECE, says Salam Mustafa, because he's assuring everybody that the BECE will be written. This topic will definitely delve into that today. Garmancha launches homework cleanup with directive for all shops to remain closed on July 2nd. Democracy is sustained by patriotic leaders, says Mahama. Ablakwa caught lying again as Rock City tax clearance certificate pops up. NPP faces hard choice, crunch meeting ahead to select a running mate. And the NIB report is out. It claims to have been leaked. As to who leaked it, we don't know. But the security implications, we'll talk about it. And we know that the NPP has desisted itself from the NIB report. Make me president, Bawumia urges Ghanaians. The Ghanaian Times newspaper is the next newspaper. Homowo Keep Accra Clean campaign. Garmancha launches massive cleanup as clean up 25 GA local assemblies to take part. Sanitation offenders to be arrested. WAEC set to organize 2024 BECE receives 47 million Ghana Cedis from government, not 80 million Ghana Cedis as being claimed earlier. Compassion Restoration Center initiates zero drug abuse addiction campaign among students nationwide. And our final newspaper is the Daily Guide newspaper. ESLA launches foundation to empower youth. Man kills son. Oh, wow. I don't like to read such stories. I hope that, Lord deals with him and deals with him to the bottom. That is it. ICC dismisses Micheletti case against Ghana. You're killing his son. Killing is killing.
Maybe.
It was an accident.
Maybe in an attempt.
Self-defense.
To lift your son, he falls off.
No, that's not what it says here.
And you didn't.
Two NDC MPs cause chaos at Parliament and Kandapa in Bole over military use clash. Okay, let's see some stories at the center page. Okay, so this time I don't think they have the entertainment story in the center. It's here. All right, Freddie Mann, defense Kim Paluta. I deny Davido access to my body, not our daughter. Sofa Mahmoud says so. And that will be all for what the news. No, let me quickly read this one.
My friend, come on.
NPP's victory starts from Ashanti region. And Mastercard Foundation reaffirms commitment to empowering EdTech in Africa. This will be all with regards to what the newspapers are reporting this morning. Now, our main topic, which I spoke about earlier. Now, I'll quickly read through for you to know. But before then, let me welcome Ben Jawapia, who is representing the NPP, and he just joined us. Good morning, Ben.
Good morning, Rosie.
How are you? Oh, you're growing your hair.
I mean,
are you Jesus?
good morning to you. You're always looking pretty.
Thank you.
I mean, it's good to see my senior colleague here as well, and my wonderful brother. That's the no. And, you always be a senior, no matter what.
You already with the NDC.
We can never take your chair from you. Anyway.
You're coming in studio with the NDC.
Oh, exactly.
Like there's very good sign.
There's so many punch holes in it, so that's exactly why we brought them. But anyway, good morning, Rosalind. I am excited to see you and your team, and wonderful morning to Ghanaians who are watching us this morning. There seems to be a lot of, traffic on the way this morning. Want to take this advantage to greet the incoming President of the Republic, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
You tolerate this.
And party executives who are watching us this morning.
He's just greeted.
He came in late and you gave him the chance.
He just greeted. It's less than 2 minutes.
You want to say that we don't know that.
Are you greeted, Bernard?
And then you came in late.
Yeah.
propaganda has started.
He
apologized.
We all drove through
No, all he did was to apologize. That's all. He just apologized.
So we can always give excuses of traffic.
No, Roslyn, ask them.
It's always good to apologize. It's better to apologize than come in and pretend as though nothing happened.
Ask them if they've told you this morning that you are looking beautiful.
Oh, they have.
Oh, they did. Oh, okay. I mean, it's good.
Yes.
It's
As for my gentlemen,
it's always good to give you that assurance.
Oh, you only said it. Other things happened when you were not here.
Oh, really?
What happened? Anyway, let's quickly delve into our topic. Now, I've introduced my guest to you, and for you at home who are joining us.
Brothers will.
But I'm Roslyn, I'm telling you.
For those of you who are just joining us this morning, and our main topic is to do with the BECE examination that is actually slated to happen on the 8th of July and end on the 15th of July. Now, currently, it's actually in limbo, let me say it like that, because the government is owing WAEC. The government told us earlier that they had given WAEC 80 million Ghana cedis. However, WAEC came out to debunk it and rather said the money they have received is 47 million Ghana cedis. They still are waiting some amount of money to be able to go ahead with the examination. If not, they cannot go ahead with the examination, meaning that it will have to be postponed. Now, talking about postponement, it's cost a lot, and the children will definitely have to pay for that. Now, talking about that, we even ask ourselves, how did we get here in the first place? Because as a country, yes, it's something that happens. We keep owing, but we are able to pay. And in the past, we've been paying. So why can't we pay today? What is the cost? Is it because we can't go borrowing? That is why we are in this kind of debt where the children will have to suffer for the consequences of our leaders. We'll delve into that. And then we also delve into the other issue, which happens to be the NIB report, which is stating that the very own Energy Minister, that is Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, is leading with a 76.27% out of the rest. Let me say the rest. If I say the rest, I'm talking about Honorable Yao Osei Educhum, I'm talking about Osei Cheymensa Bonsu, Fremo Pare, Jose Wusu, and the others. They all came close, but nobody came as close as Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. Now, there are security implications, because when I decided to investigate and ask, how come? Some people even think that this is the first time NIB is doing polls like that, but apparently it's been done every election year, but it never gets released. So who released it? Doesn't mean that our security system is weaker than we thought. We'll talk about that. But let's delve into the WAEC issue. I think with the WAEC issue, the best person to start with will be Prof.
All right.
You're a professor.
That's an education issue.
It's an education
trying to
issue.
start with me. Okay,
yes.
Well, that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
But for me, what's worrying in all of this is we're looking at a ruling party that has just emerged out of the ashes of a controversial superdelegate Congress and a Congress where we all saw colossal sums of money being spent on delegates in a bid to elect a flag bearer to lead his party. Few months down the line, we are in crisis as to whether we will be registering kids for basic school examination. And I think that's a big shame if you juxtapose this to what has happened in the last couple of years as far as massive spendings of political campaigning internally within the ruling party is concerned. But, Roslyn, one thing we ought to look at, this is the first time in our country's history that we are having such a situation, and to even have WAEC and all this disparity. And for me, what's even annoying is the responses we are getting. What's the Chief Whip of Parliament got to do with money is being released to WAEC if the right thing ought to be done? What is the ruling party's youth organizer got to give assurance to well-meaning institutions that are to conduct important, not just national elections, but regional within the sub-region? And we're poo-pooing over all of this with all these statements coming from a chief whip and a party's national youth organizer.
He just gave an assurance.
No, in what capacity?
Maybe he's had something.
Do we not have an education minister? Do we not have a finance minister? So this is the nonsense we are making of our educational system and the sort of attachment we're giving it. So please, let's stop all of these issues of, I don't even know where that came
So,
from.
Prof, would you have preferred the education minister speak rather than the chief whip?
Yes, of course, because that lies within the purview of the education minister. And this is an important exercise, right? In an age where we are talking about free SHS and all of this, we still have our education system in limbo, right? The frustration alone, because these are kids we are preparing for examination, is going to be the first week of July. Right? We are in the last week
It's supposed
of
to be
June.
the 8th of July.
Well, that's still within the first weeks of July. And what's going to happen is that we are still in the last week of June. So what it means is that that's just early next month. And there's still no assurances from the government. There's no assurances from the designated ministry or the ministry responsible for the conduct of this exam. There's no assurance from the finance minister, right, or finance ministry where monies ought to be released for this to be done. What is the explanation we could give to this? Right. In other jurisdictions, there are monies that are ring-fenced for these exercises. So it means that we are not even attaching any importance to our education. And you all know the psychological impact this could even have. And we are talking about suppliers that are compromising to print whatever. This is a security risk as far as an exam is concerned. So already even the integrity of the exam is already thrown up in the air for question, given the circumstances surrounding its conduct. And for me, if this is how we are to treat our educational issues, especially at the foundational level, it is a big shame to all of us, right? But then again, we say we are in a robust economy, the economy is growing, and ABCD about the economy and all of that, digitalization and all of the happenings around. And this is a shambles we have within our educational sector. It's a big shame to the ruling government and the authorities for that matter that are meant to ensure that we have a smooth running of this exam. I mean, these poor kids, what have they done to be subjected to this? And the psychological effect is going to cascade not just within the school kids, but to parents and guardians as well.
So you don't think the assurance is enough?
From a party's youth organizer and a chief whip?
Well, he is a part of the party.
Right.
So
the NPP now conducts...
No, I'm just saying that the assurance is not good enough just because of where it's coming from. Is that what it is?
Of course, because the assurances must come with some level of authority within the authorized body. What does a party's organizer got to do with BECE exams? And what's Parliament's chief whip got to do with BECE exams? So which is why I'm saying that it tells you the kind of seriousness the current government is attaching to this all-important exams.
Right. Okay, now let me move to Ben. Ben, how did we get here in the first place?
Rosalind,
The NPP government never promised us this.
Rosalind, once again, a good morning to you and your cherished viewers. I am amazed with the, a starting point of professors' issues on this matter. What I want to do is, I can assure Ghanaians, and you can remember, this government, when we took over as the ruling, government in this country, remember how we have prioritized education. Education brings a lot of transformation. For starters, if Ghanaians would want to go back and understand that almost about 32 million people right now currently living in Ghana. If you look at the ratio of the number of people that are educated before we took over as a government, we had staggering figures. And look, before the starting or the inception of free SHS.
But Ben, we are not talking about free SHS.
Yes, I am.
We are talking about an issue that ought to be solved. We are talking about children who have BECE to write on the 8th of July and currently is in limbo. Yeah. And so when we go into free SHS, where we have to delve into an issue, how did we get here, where we are owing WAEC 95.3 million Ghana Cedis. That's what is being owed. Now, government told us in the first place that they have released 80 million Ghana Cedis to them, only to be told it's not true. So how did we get here? That's the most important thing. It's not about the children that have done free SHS.
I'm saying in response to what Prof is saying, But in contrast...
But in my question is,
yes,
how did we get
right.
here?
I'm building a point to get there. In contrast, when they were in power, ask them if they were to able... They
Talk
were,
about the
they
last
were
7 years
able,
of your stewardship.
If
What
they
about
were
what they were
able
in power?
to pay for some of these students, even with their registration fee.
Goodness me.
Okay? We came in and we have been able to do all of that for these students. What I wanted to, the point that I was trying to draw your attention to is that all of these children, if you have about 530,000 people writing BECE, basic examination, and then you have only 130,000 that progress to the next phase of their life to the secondary school level. Then you have about 330,000 staying at home because parents were not having enough funds to pay for registration fee, pay for fees and all that. Then the government comes in, another government comes in, absorb all of these things.
Rosalind, can you point to evidence of
at the end of the day, it is very important that the most important stakeholders in this are the parents. They know what the government has done for them. Especially in this
Ben,
hard economic time.
I think we are beating around the bush
you see, when you do not appreciate the fact that
yes.
some of these things are happening, we wouldn't come
what is
to
happening?
A fruitful
they are
conclusion
in opposition. What is
that
happening?
At the end of the day, government will make sure that the monies that are supposed to be sent are sent.
Okay.
So we need no reassurance. Sometimes, Rosalind, even at your home, when you are managing your kitchen or home, sometimes you run out of cash, don't you? But you make sure that your children will never go hungry. Government is saying 80 million Ghana cedis, right? When Anodon Pre went to Parliament, he assured Ghanaians that 80 million Ghana cedis was paid to...
he didn't assure, he said.
He said that. And now we are coming to know that it was only 47 million or so.
So did he lie?
No. I'm saying that sometimes in trenches when you send money, maybe the document has been signed.
So he didn't lie?
No. Obviously, why would he lie? He's a majority chief.
Okay.
Why would he lie? All that we want to show is that at the end of the day, Ghanaians should be rest assured that these children are not going to be postponing their exams. They will write it. But we also need to understand the fact that government has been able to mitigate some of these, hardships and difficulties that some of our parents go through with regards to the registration fees and school fees and all that.
I think the question here is, why is the finance minister quiet about it?
Well, I don't think he has been interviewed or he has been asked about it.
Should he be interviewed before? Doesn't he have access to actually, release a statement and say that we have paid 80 million? Should it come from the majority whip?
No. But what is wrong if majority whip goes to Parliament?
What is wrong if somebody who is in charge says it?
Yeah, because nobody, that is why you are there. The media is there to interview, or the journalists are there to interview finance minister, ask questions about it. So, for me, I would say that this government has tried so much. It is very important that we understand that government is working on some of these things and the exams wouldn't be postponed. Like I said, it's a sub-regional stuff, the whole of West Africa. It is so why do we then make it a political,
but who made it? If your youth organizer is speaking on it, who made it political?
Like, he's here saying all of these things when he was in government. What did he do?
But if you ask about
you understand? For 7 years, we have managed this thing very well.
We did wrong with
in 2014, in 2014, common chalk they couldn't provide for. And I don't want us to do any blame games here. Have you ever, in the history of Ghana, have you ever tried to sit down to remember if BECE or whatever has been postponed? No.
But in the history of Ghana, this is the first time we are hearing. This is the first time we are hearing what we are hearing.
Are they saying that they are going to postpone it?
Yes, they said until it's paid.
Okay.
Prof, please let me handle it. Right. Until it's paid, it will be postponed.
But I am assuring you, government is always ready.
Why are we not having
pay?
The education minister assure us? Why are we not having the finance minister assure us that
has anybody called the education minister to Parliament?
That's the first question I have to ask you.
In Parliament, they have Hansard. They have serialized items on the agenda.
Why do we have a PRA department in these organizations?
Nobody has gone there to question them. It's becoming it's becoming something that we all, at least when there are phone headlines like that, we take it and then we all, but go to the main sector or agency in this regard is the education minister.
Okay.
Have we asked the right questions? Education minister, this is what is happening. What is your say about it? And then you can be able to say, in my view, I can tell you that government is not going to sit down to postpone such impactful or important exam.
Right.
That some of our siblings or our children are looking forward to progress in life. I feel we should definitely probe into it. And I know at the end of the day, government is going to come through.
Right. Bernard, we are looking at these amount of monies that are being owed. Do you think government has enough funds to be able to pay these monies before the 8th of July?
It is fair to say good morning to my colleagues and to yourself. And just pray that you had a good weekend. Sometimes we come here and you don't know the state of our weekends, and so we can carry forward the anger and frustrations of the weekend onto your show. Is Ghana not a sick nation? Not quite long. The Vice President was on his Youth Connect. And a pupil, not a pupil, a student nurse, after the Vice President has spoken so eloquently, and in the course of doing so, wanted to jab at one of his opponents, said that, can you trust my opponent for your allowances? Then a young girl stood up to ask questions and said, I have been 3 years and I'm in my last semester. I have not received my allowa. When is the allowa going to come? Then all of a sudden, handkerchiefs that is normally for the face was used to clean his head. Because he was sweating, his speech was now lower, his confidence was deflated, and the response was to the effect that I didn't know the state of being of the alawa. And yet it was something that the Vice President pontificated on that platform. Clearly, there is something wrong with our governance system. And there is actually something wrong with the people surrounding our leaders, leading them to such massive ridicule and disgrace. If I were the Vice President at that moment, everybody around me would have been removed to bring in more competent handlers. You know we are going to go to a nursing training college. You know that one of the issues we made capital out was nursing allowances. And you did not do any background to provide information for the Vice President, only to be humiliated by one of the students. Of course, the Vice President made a promise that he was going to instruct the Minister for Finance and monies will be released. Monies were released. So it must take a certain protest. It must take a certain call that, look, we are not in a position before our government will act on what legitimately ought to be done. It's a similar thing with the WAEC. Our peoples are getting ready, right? Mm-hmm. WAEC needs about 96 million, or government owes WAEC 96 million. Yeah. WAEC says that they need a minimum of half to be able to start the processes to get our pupils to register and to write examination. Now, government says that, or majority whip, says that they have released 80 million. WAEC says that it's only 47 that has been released. You know.
But do you think that we are in a capacity of paying that kind of money?
Why do you doubt Yetisika so a comedian?
So we can pay.
I mean, who, after that statement, who will say that you don't have money? And indeed, we have money. If you look at some of the profligate and useless expenditures that we are engaging, Ghana has lots of money. Unfortunately, directing these resources to the benefit of the people has become a challenge. And I feel very terrified. Look, we are talking about education.
But don't we have a budget system where we are able to say that we are locating this amount of money towards the education sector, and so we don't have to get to where we are? Because where we are today, it's beginning to look as though there is no money in the system, but you are saying there's money.
There's lots of money in the system. See, you want to say that we've not submitted a budget to Parliament, and Parliament has okayed, appropriation bill has been passed. So what is left with is releases. How did we get to do the budget? We looked at our revenue sources, and we looked at how much we can spend within the means of the revenues, and then we allocated to each of the ministries, agencies, and departments in this country. And so once we have done that, next is to release resources to them. Why are they not getting their money? And you want to say that the Ministry of Education sent a budget through to Cabinet and then eventually approved and sent to Parliament without adding their indebtedness to WAEC? Then it means that the Minister for Education and the ministry, they ought to be reshuffled with the speed that it requires. And so, obviously, there is a Ministry of Education responsible for it. In addition to that, we have a Ghana Education Trust Fund that obviously has been abused in multiple forms. The reason for which we are setting up something different. And as I sat here, you see that I was doing policy review. And so you will see something different that will collapse GET Fund, collapse the Heritage Fund, and bring all of them together at a center to ensure that education is sustained and education funding is sustained. So clearly, when you have GET Fund, that also, in recent times, has become a substitute to even the government allocation to the Ministry of Education. You cannot be having our students thinking that, oh, are we going to write exams? Do you know what that means, actually? That can lead to underperformance. Because the uncertainty that, oh, this year there may not be WAEC examination for BECE because government has not been able to settle its indebtedness can sink and sank our pupils.
Right. Now, there's a big question here. If Bernard Warner is saying that there is enough money, GET funders, the monies that are supposed to be allocated to these sectors, then who is sitting on the money? And I'll definitely ask you all of that question. Who is sitting on the money, and why does WAEC have to make or have to outcry
Rose, let me ask
before? Please send in your messages to us. We want to read your messages. But
let me answer that
If I'm
question.
not mistaken,
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, in times past, this is years ago, kids used to pay what is known as WAEC fees.
Yes.
I don't
We
know if
paid
they
that
still,
time,
I don't know
yes.
if they still pay that as well.
Let me make
So if
this
that
clear.
is happening and all of this is happening,
Now,
then it's
the point I just made
Please
is that,
send in your message
did you
to
hear
us. I
that
want
the
to
government
see
went to borrow any money to release the so-called 80 million that is now 47 million, according to WAEC? Did government go anywhere to borrow? So where was that money? How did the government all of a sudden, when they were confronted that, look, this is the situation, then they now went and released the money? It tells you clearly that, look, somebody is sleeping.
It's not true. I mean,
it's not true.
There's no
saying
money.
that
It's
you
not
see,
that somebody's sleeping.
when we face challenges,
Yeah.
let us not conclude that, some of these things are happening because of somebody's negligence or whatever it is. What we are saying is, some of these challenges have been there always, but governments always come through.
Isn't this
So
sickening?
the challenges of WAEC
Is this
being
not a sick
What
mentality?
you- Wait,
It's
gentlemen,
always
please
been
let me
there.
handle. I'll come to each one of you.
Sometimes
Yes.
they do the supply. They have other agencies or businessmen that goes in there to, learn some of this material, whether bond paper, printing, pencils, and whatnot. So when all those things are being, when they pay or when they lend it to WAEC, then it takes time for them to make sure that, they pay that amount of money. Now, where the outburst is coming from is the fact that they owe them, and this time they want certain amount of money before. it's not like WAEC doesn't owe them or hasn't owed them before. They are looking at the amount. Another president goes to Parliament and raises up. 80 million has been released to you. Now WAEC says they are only having 47 million.
So where's the rest?
As to whether or not, maybe at the time that Anodon Pre was speaking, it was only 47 million or so that was received. Does not mean that the 80 million wouldn't go to them. Okay, so let us not, you know,
so
think that
you are not Anodon Pre.
yes, you understand. Let us not think that at the end of the day, the money is not going to go.
Rosalie.
It will definitely.
Okay.
It will
Yes.
definitely.
That amount that's still even released is not in cash terms. It's still within the electronic
Yes.
system.
Because that's the
That is
platform.
no one is saying
That's
that's
the
not a platform.
platform.
It is about
That's
the
the
agency
platform.
with which you treat some of these issues. Now, what's the mandate of WAEC in all of this, right? WAEC is not a political party.
It's an independent body.
That what conducts exams.
Yeah.
So its core mandate is to conduct exams. So within any prudent government setup, what it does is that WAEC has a budget, right? And that budget ought to be prepared and submitted to the rightful body. And when that is done, that allocation, right, starts with the financial year. So what we are seeing is this. Invariably, it means WAEC has not received its bona fide designated amount that is needed to run for the year and beyond. And that is problematic, right? So in any serious jurisdiction, why would you not, who would defend this at this hour? Because WAEC should have had this money 6 months ago. They should have even paid their suppliers ahead, because that is preparation. We have barely 2 weeks.
And that has been the practice over a period.
Yes, and we have barely 2 weeks to the exam, and we still sit in studio defending this.
Are you saying that there's no money in the system?
If there were money in the system, would we be having this conversation? Right, the economy is broken, and we are still not admitting the economy is broken. Why exams? Rosalind, if all of us in studio, if we're parents, and we're subjected to this, what the psychological, this harrowing for these poor school kids. Why are we doing this to ourselves in a broken economy?
So,
and you still have a flag bearer of the ruling party driving a motionless TLS car around town saying that he is going to drive the economy rightly when he was head of the economic management team. So it's this, and still remains head of the economic management team because
Rosemary, now it's become a problem whenever an institutional government has challenges.
Of course. Why do we have an economic management?
Ben, please let Prof land.
No, why do we have an
when they were in power, they never had. They had to cancel teachers' training allowances and other stuff.
Ben,
We are 7 years. There's never been any challenges like that. Government is not saying it's not going to pay. So how do you then come here
We're talking
to
about
politicize this
stewardship
whole thing?
of 8 years.
Oh, come on.
We're looking at a stewardship of 8 years. So if you can still go back,
Exactly,
if you decide that you want to go back 10 years to look at whatever it is,
in
then you have failed as a
this
All right, let me see if I have
this
some
government has
messages
done
coming
better
in.
than your government.
But
This government has
wait,
done way better than yours.
Gentlemen, wait, hold on for me, please. Whether a government has done better or not, currently we have a situation that we need to deal with, and that's what we are dealing with it now. The most important thing is for the money, please, it's not about assurance, it's about the money being released. Prof, please, it's about the monies being released to WAEC for these children to be able to write their examination on the 8th of July. Currently, WAEC is being owed. When is government releasing this money?
Rosalind.
Are the children going to write their exams? That's all we need.
Rosalind, this is being done under an economic climate where you just had financial haircuts. Don't forget, right? A pernicious economy, to borrow the words of the former finance minister, right? So we have even burdened parents. So this is a double burden to parents. Parents that have investments, right, that they've had or been undercutted. They've undercut them, these parents, and yet still we are burdening them with another extra psychological burden of what?
Government is not asking parents to pay any amount of money.
No, they're not. But anyway, Bernard, you wanted to say something, so I quickly read the message.
Gentlemen, please let me let Bernard. That was asking them to pay such amount of money.
Please, gentlemen.
There are challenges.
Gentlemen.
We are accepting that there is challenge.
Are you defending?
Okay, so
Every
gentlemen.
government faces challenges one way or the other.
That's fine.
We are not saying they are not.
All right, please, can I have Bernard also on the floor? Bernard.
You know, the people who make our life worse off degrade our future and that of our children by their actions and inactions are the same people that we come to defend to the tilt. How can somebody who probably does not have children any longer in school be frustrating the future of your children? And we are here defending their ugly policies and actions. Our children's future is in limbo. WAEC is threatening that it will not be able to register these kids so that they can write their BECE. That is the thrust of the matter this morning. It is not about yesteryears whether somebody did O-level and whether students were paid money. I mean, does that make sense? This is the same ministry that goes around buying, what? Past questions. Past questions that have no relevance with the changed curricula. To come and give your students to go and write, to read. And you don't have money after they have read the past questions that, in my opinion, are non-seller. Because you have changed the curricula, but you are buying past papers for which years? And you are giving it to the people. You've spent so much money, and you cannot give money so that they can be registered.
So for you, it's misappropriation of funds?
Look, I just can't fathom why we have to rise. We have to challenge. We have to say, look, give us our due before somebody is made to act. This is much too much.
Right. Anyway, Bernard says this is much too much. This segment is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Now, if you're looking for any gadget to get, make sure you go to Franco Trading Enterprise. Mobile phones, television sets, CCTV cameras, air conditioners, and even many more. You can download the app on your phone, Franco Trading app, or you go to our website for more information, www.francotradingenterprise.com. Franco Trading Enterprise, still full pop-up path. Yeah, it's time for me to get you involved in the conversation. We know that you've sent in your messages, and so let me quickly read what we have. Now, today I haven't started my messages early, so I know there are lots of messages waiting to be read. I got you. I got all of you. This one says, the hardships Ghanaians are being through nowadays, truly, no normal Ghanaian will join a queue to vote for Bawumia and his NPP government to continue adding more hardships on us. From Abladi Efiekuma Zongo. This one says, good morning to you. Despite several efforts, corruption continues to be a significant challenge in Ghana's democratic process. It requires sustained commitment and collaboration among government institutions, civil society organizations, the media, and the public to effectively combat corruption and promote integrity in the democratic process. Aaron Beba Kokoko Misa. This one says, Roslyn, good morning. Please look at our salaries as government workers and compare to the standard of living under NPP. Food alone is taking all our salaries. Majority is suffering. Many are running out of the country. But Bawumia said it's only NDC people who are complaining. If the head of our economic team doesn't see anything wrong with the economy, despite our tears, what kind of president is he coming to be? Now we owe every sector, including WAEC. Abba. Unless we are not in our right senses before NPP will win, every day Bawumia is promising every day. You want power because people thought you could do better. Then why do you always compare to NDC again? Abba, NPP has failed Ghanaians, Papa. Mahama will surely win. Is this a birthday message? All right. Good morning, host. Please, I beg you, as allegedly Tescon guy report to police, and has anybody arrested? Yes, I hear this, Richard Ahiagba. Visit the Tescon guy. IB, if it's true, did he go do same for our 3 Takoradi girls? Kaka, our brothers and sisters, 8 Ghanaians killed in 2020 election, or those people are not important? Moses from Nigeria. Good morning, Roslyn. You are looking awesome. Thank you so much. For the first time, I've seen the hair of His Excellency Bernard Mwana. So, women votes for His Excellency JDM to establish Women's Bank to enable you in your business. Good morning to you, Madam and your guests. It's so shameful to hear that the issue of WAEC, when in actual fact, a single minister of state under this government can pay such amount of money from the money they use to feed their dogs. This current administration is full of greedy, wicked, and corrupt leaders. They only think of their wives and children, but Ghanaians will show them that we are not fools come 7th December. My regards to incoming MP of Mio, Alhaji Misbah, and Professor Jalil of Tamale Technical University, Sumani Hamza. Mensa Majid, yes, Mensa Majid from Bechim, Toronto says, happy belated birthday to Honorable Charles Akwesi Asiedu. May his birthday bring victory to him and the good people of Tano South. The constituency has been muted by Honorable Yeboah Secretary Benjamin, and the only person to unmute it is Honorable Charles Akwesi Asiedu. We shouldn't forget that JDM built Accra Digital Center, so he has every right to talk about improving the digital system in Ghana when he wins power come December 7th. Dr. Bawumia has not done anything in the digital system. He promised to digitalize the toll booth, but they ended up collapsing all the tolls. Ghana Card was initiated by NDC, and it's fact. Those who don't read will dispute this fact. Can the communicator in your studio tell us what Dr. Bawumia? Okay, this one I can't get it, so unfortunately I can't continue reading it. Good morning, Roslyn. Dr. Bawumia and his driver Nanado lack credibility. Their government is full of lies. Ghana's corruption has gone down to zero. We have paid the trainees allowance false. We are building an airport for Cape Coast, false. SkyTrain, false. I will protect the public purse, false. No family and friends government, also zero. No Doomso, but there is Doomso. Only John Dramani Mahama can redeem Ghana's image. 24-hour economy is coming. Solomon Zenus Martin Luther. Good morning, Madam. Akufo-Addo and Bawumia should use our money they stole to pay the WAEC. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. There are many unqualified police officers in the system. That's why the two police officers Aketa beat our landlord, Jerry Pensonu, to death. We've notified IGP should step in, but he failed. The youth will take action. We need new faces at the Keta police station. Abochi Philip from Keta. Wow, that's not good to hear. That is not good to hear at all. Al-Hassan Sise from Zenu Central, we cannot get money to pay WAEC because the ruling government appetite and interest is just about power and looting of state properties. The vice president can order for money to be released for nurses trainees to be paid because of vote buying. These guys are just empty in governance, but good at arrogance and shifting responsibilities and blaming everybody except themselves. What a waste of 70 years of power Ghana has experienced under Nana Akufo-Addo. NPP, never again. Okay, this one has so many images. All right, maybe it's a birthday, so we just move on. Good morning. I am Nyako Emmanuel from Bechemedum. I feel so sad and ashamed of how the ruling government is frustrating these kids who are about to write these exams. Oh, God, where are we heading as a country with this evidence of recklessness and misplaced priorities? This has never happened in the history of Ghana. Happy birthday to Honorable Charles Akwesi Asiedu, incoming MP for the good people of Tano South. Hey, Honorable, it looks like people are really sending messages this morning. Happy birthday to you, Honorable. Awuja Delali from Brekum. To be honest, Joy Prime is doing an amazing job. Keep it up. I wish all BECE candidates the best. They should learn hard to achieve their aims. Greetings to Prophetess Martha Kwanama Brekum Keto Immigration Checkpoint. May God bless her for me. Good morning, Roslyn. Ben has nothing to tell Ghanaians. His comment is rather provoking Ghanaians. When will the NPP stop telling lies like Dr. Bawumia, Vincent Bante? Oh, but he's told us that it will be paid. He has assured us this morning. Good morning, Roslyn. Please tell the NPP man to always go straight to the questions you ask him and stop telling us history, because we want to understand the topic we're discussing today. And we would like to say a big good morning to the NDC man. You're talking about Professor Khalid. Okay, Mohammed IB man. Honorable Akesme said, good morning, beautiful Roslyn. The NIB survey indicated that Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, the energy minister, is the preferred choice among party members to be the running mate to Dr. Bawumia. The NIB report sampled the views of 5,116 NPP delegates nationwide, with 76.2% of the respondents preferring Dr. Prempeh as Dr. Bawumia's running mate. Other potential candidates included Dr. Osei Educhum, Apostle Opokunyina, and Brian Echampo. Regardless of who Dr. Bawumia chooses as his running mate, it won't affect the outcome of the election. Kudos to John Mahama, a true leader and a champion of the... Okay, so when your messages are long, we struggle to read them. All right, so coming back here. First cause Zakaria Sunyani says that Nanado and Baumia should stop blaming COVID-19, Russia, Ukraine. It's only a lazy man who complains when no one caused him a trouble. It's exactly what Nanado Baumia is portraying. They are filled with the so-called economic management team. As for Mahama, never blame neither the 8 months wasted in court by reckless NPP nor the economic meltdown across the globe. Ghana's cocoa oil, manganese, these were not getting prices under Mahama, but was focused transforming Ghana. NPP have failed in all sectors. Fix the economy and stop blaming. So if Russia-Ukraine war continues, so Nanado Baumia have no solution to our problems. Mahama is the alternative. Mahama did not push the students like pouring water into free SHS. Look, Mahama was the constitution, progressively free education. Ghanaians will not give the steer to a joker, Bob Bukala or Nkomode. The presidency is not a concept party grounds. Vote John Mahama. Good morning, Joy Prime. Good morning, Rosalind. I'm Willie from Cape Coast. Hi, Willie. I want to beg of you to bring people... All right. Alhaji Hamza Pick Farm says, good morning, Rosalind. Truth be told, the survey done by the NBIB for the position of vice president position for the NPP is shameful to say the least. Let us not forget, it is our resources that was used to conduct the survey for the NPP. Now, let's talk about the survey. This survey has been happening over a period, okay? It just doesn't get released. It's not the first time a survey is being done. So don't think, it's not the first time it's been done.
Yeah,
they do the survey all the time.
Contextualizing the issue.
Okay.
When you say it's as though it's the mandate of the NIB to be conducting these surveys. Mind you, several surveys get done by intelligence agencies.
Yes. So they do it so that they will know where to go with regards to security-wise.
Yes.
So it's done all the time.
Yes.
So it's a mandate that's done, but it's just not supposed to be released. Okay. So they do it for their intellectual purposes and their security purposes for elections. But it's not supposed to be for public.
You would read the content of this and it will reveal to you whether it was done for security purposes or otherwise.
Anyway, let us not forget, it is our resources that was used. The selection of the NPP vice president is their own internal affairs and not national. In any case, why didn't the NIB conduct same survey for other political parties in this country? But I can assure the NPP that whoever is selected to partner Dr. Baumia will lose the 2024 elections big time. NPP as a political party cannot be trusted. They are full of scammers. The future of this country and that this wicked, super incompetent government is pregnant and hopeless. NPP never again. We are where we are today simply because of the arrogant posture of the communicators and functionaries of this government. They always think we don't have minds of our own to think for ourselves. Good morning, Rosalind. Ghanaians voted for NPP to come and make things correct in the country, but they are over worst government. Good morning, Madam Host. Which of the presidents said we should allow the EC to do her work in the same JM as in the JM and his own mouth? He don't EC that the man there. Okay, I'm struggling to read what you are saying. The man sitting there saying economy is hard and you are buying motorbikes for campaigning for you. But I'm supposed to tell the two men from Upper West they are disgracing us. Okay, so Bernard, somebody says you are disgracing them.
That's his view.
For some people, still defending government is normal because even if Satan, with all the saints, contests in election with Jesus, definitely Satan will pull some votes. Ricardo Bechim. I have a lot of messages. I'll put a hold on some of the messages and come back because I'm looking at see all these messages. See.
The show is getting very popular.
I know, right? But I'll try and read all my messages. But for now, I'll put a little hold and then we can delve into our topic and then I come back to it. Good morning, Rosalind. I'm shocked listening to the NPP man in the studio. The current crop of youth is more terrible than our current leaders. No wonder we're called a coconut head. Imagine a youth defending... This needless, so okay. I usually don't like it when we attack the guest. Akonsi Gariba from Tamale said, good morning, Rosalind. Ablakwa is caught lying again about Rock City Hotel. Meanwhile, these are people who kept on calling Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Baumia a liar. The NDC is not a serious party and Ghanaians will reject the NDC party again come 7 December 2024. BMW is possible. I'm begging you, my viewers, I love you so much. Please don't attack my guests. I beg you. They share their views. They are supposed
Somebody
to
expressed his opinion about me and
But I said it. I'm saying everybody. I said all my guests. I didn't say one guest.
Disgracing Upper West, and then you read it.
But no, I didn't say it. It was at the end. It was at the end.
No.
It was at the end.
And then you even asked.
I said,
you said so, and I said there's no problem with someone's opinion.
Yeah. So I should read it.
There's no problem with that. I mean, that's how people are brought up.
It's a pluralistic society.
I mean, so once people...
What is that to you people? Anyway, let me...
No, I'm saying, but you said something about me, and I hold no grudge with anybody who decides to use your time to go offensive.
This segment is probably brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise, still for Papa Perfy. And do not forget to get all your gadgets from Franco Trading Enterprise, phone Papa Perfy.